All right, good after. Oh wait, it's not the afternoon, it's the morning. Well, good morning. Good morning. I am going to be going live this morning. I'm just kind of talking and getting my voice box activated. Um I'm feeling inspired to do a yoga class this morning. Um it is like 7 It's about 7:15 in the morning. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna actually test this out on YouTube and um, and see like, sorry, there's a squirrel over there on the tree. um, yeah, so I want to do a yoga class this morning. I think I want to start doing moon salutation yoga for 28 days, which is basically the velvet tide reset, part of that, right? So the whole package of the velvet tide reset is the body work part, and then also the support before and after, because it's a pretty big ceremony with 14 modules, basically, is what I'm trying to think of. It is early in the morning, so I'm like, let me do a video where so I can like kind of get the thoughts, and like make sure I'm calling on myself all the way back from the astral space. But yeah, so I'm here in at William Land Park in Sacramento. So much has happened within this last week. I feel like I keep having these weeks where there's a lot of loss of either like material things or relationships that end, um, or that transform into a different situation. And so, yeah, I just feel like I need to move my body this morning. I do have a plan in place, because I did get let go from my job, where I was working at in Laguna. Um, yeah, they weren't able to keep my schedule full, um, and things like that. I did my best to keep my calendar full with the people that were coming to see me, but like I would have days where like I wouldn't have any clients, and you know when I would go in, there's only one work phone. They have iPads, but it's like not all of them are logged in to the texting, or they're not able to text, or weird shit like that, right? And there's only one phone, there's one computer, one laptop, I should say. Um, and it's like, well, if somebody is sitting there working on that, like, I'm not gonna go and barge in and like be like, oh, I need to use the computer or whatever. I felt that was doing too much, so to say. Like, um, and so it's fine because I'm going to be leaning in more on the mobile massage, where I travel to people, and things like that. And I did crunch out the numbers, how many do I need, you know, well, to replace what I was making a week there. I really only would need like 3 people a week. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, I need 3 people a week at the minimum. but I'm aiming for 10, 10 appointments a week. So that would basically be like, you know, two or three, like especially if I only do like 5 days a week, right? So yeah, it's all good. You know, I'm not the only one, but I'm not the only one that was noticing a lot of the things going on there. You know, I did talk to a lot of the ladies, especially when they were talking about creating content and things for the marketing. You know, I have a lot of great ideas when it comes to that, that I wanted to share. So I did create a presentation. So I did a whole presentation and, you know, showed where they are weak at and can improve in their online presence and things of that nature. And stuff like that. But, you know, business owners that are frugal, will never really change. I didn't want to leave without doing the presentation because, you know, I didn't want it to turn into one of those, well, dang, I should have, or I could have. I didn't want it to turn into that. So that's why I was like, no, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna do the presentation, see what they say, and then kind of move and go from there because, yeah, like I said, I was just having a lot of empty space in my schedule, and it's like the admin time, and it's weird, honestly, how these business owners just try and disguise the growth time as admin time, you know, and there's a lead therapist, but she only has so much time and energy, right? And I even brought that up because I'm like, you know, having everybody spread so thin, like, you know, people aren't fully showing up to their sessions. And I'm saying this because I've worked on people there that have worked with other therapists, and they always are like, man, that was like the best massage. Like, you weren't talking, you were like actually hitting the areas where it hurts, and stuff like that. And so that's why I'm like, dude, I know. I was telling her what her customers are saying, right, to me, the therapist, but it's all good. You know, no hard feelings. It is unfortunate for them, right? Because I don't know. I don't know the path that they're going to be going. There's a lot of there's just a lot of drama in the back of the house, and I just was tired of it, honestly. Like, that's not really the type of environment I want to work in, um and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk and do a video real quick. Like, um I'm gonna be making my content more personable because my brother was like telling me, he's like, man, you sound robotic sometimes on your videos. And I know I can come off robotic, and that has to do a lot with what I have been working on, which are the different masks and things that I may unconsciously put on, right? Because of perfectionism or people pleasing. A lot of that's where a lot of that comes from, you know, because I want to say the right thing, I want to do the right thing, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to look like an idiot. But like, I feel like just being myself, even if I look like an idiot, people are going to relate to that more, right? And yeah, so today's a big morning, and I'm thinking of doing live on YouTube, actually. I would do it on Facebook, but I'm feeling, I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little so-so with Facebook again. Um, but I can do live on TikTok. I just want to make sure though that like my topic and thing is on point, because as I'm learning, the newer versions of digital marketing and SEO, which is search engine optimization, which can also translate as to social media engine optimization, because the social platforms, they are working on a certain algorithm. I know you're tired of hearing that word. That word is being thrown around very loosely these days, but it's the truth. They do have a certain metrics that they're looking at when you put content in, and that's because they are needing to categorize it in certain ways, so that way people who naturally or usually watch that type of content will be exposed to your content. And yeah, I'm not trying to ramble. I just wanted to talk some things out. Like I said, this is another opportunity for me to, I guess you could say, like, show myself what I'm made of. Like, do I really want it, or how am I gonna go about things now? As a manifesting generator in human design, I do know that as long as I'm working on something and putting something out, things will naturally gravitate into my space when I need them. Okay, and so, whew, you know, um, and then I'm also in those years of where people have their midlife crises, right? The 40s, the early 40s, to for about 45, and I'm right at the beginning. So I know this is not the end, right? I am, though, preparing. That's why I feel like I'm like really putting so much energy and effort into learning and updating my skills on around social and web. That I did find a potential place. I've been knowing about this place for a long time. It's on a main busy street, which is helpful. The space is about 600 square feet, so I have to go and see it physically, because I am looking for certain things where I'm going to be renting a space. Like, I do need a sink outside of the bathroom sink. The owner said that there is like a half bathroom, with just a toilet and sink, which is good, so people can have a place to use the restroom. But I also need access to another sink, which I'm hoping, I mean, for the price, what I'm saying, 1300. 1300 is not bad. But at the same time, when you're like, I don't have regular customers yet on my own. And so I'm essentially starting from scratch around that. So that's why it's going to have to be a lot of effort on my part in getting people to know what I'm doing now. And so with that, I'm going to be doing what's called a direct mail campaign. It's really good for local businesses that have not really established themselves in the community just yet. And honestly, I've been distracted. So, like, I haven't done any of this really, right? I've been building my online platforms and things like that, but really getting out and connecting with the community to let people know, like, what I offer and what I do. I haven't been doing that. And so that's where I'm at now, is getting that together as far as starting to do a direct mail campaign. So what does a direct mail campaign look like? I guess we're going to start talking about some marketing tactics, right, for local businesses. So marketing campaigns can look like the postcards that come in the mail with, like, from businesses with coupons or a promotion, sometimes an introductory type of promotion. It can also look like large envelopes, where you send, a letter with sales copy and an offer, right? Because that's one of the weak spots in my own strategy is the offer. What am I offering? Why am I not telling people what I'm offering, right? And I haven't been necessarily. You know, I've been trying to build it while working somewhere else, and because my energy wasn't really focused in my own thing, like I was missing, you know, um, certain elements, which is why, like I said, I don't have necessarily my own base of clientele. And so my strategy, of course, I have my website, right? I got all of that set up. Funnels, right? I have funnels, and I'm building funnels, I should say. I'm actually working on that right now, and getting those so that I can see which demographic is really going to fuck with me, like on a like really wanting me to come in and do their massages. So what I'm doing is I've decided, after I've worked on a tattoo artist, she invited me to her shop to do 2 massages, and I was like, you know what, these are who I should be talking to. People that are in service based businesses, like tattoo artists, eyelash artists, hairstylists. Who else did I put? And I think teachers were, and office workers. So yeah, teachers and office workers were the other demographic. So I know office workers are like, it's a pretty broad, but I'm testing it out, and that's the one thing when it comes to marketing: testing and measuring, like testing things out, but then measuring, after 4 weeks, what is the response? Am I even getting any responses? Am I getting bookings? Am I getting people checking out my stuff? So I created a flyer as my first piece, and then I'm in the process of designing a postcard. I'm also going to be working with a company called 3D Mail. I was actually introduced to them years ago when I did digital marketing, and they have some very unique mailing pieces. That's why they're called 3D results, because the idea with a direct mail campaign is that you want to be on top of the mail pile, right? You want to be you want your whatever you send to not necessarily fit easily, like you want it to stand out. And so yeah, I did find a few things. They're sending me some information, and I'm looking at the options of probably having them fulfill the order for me, like each time I want to mail things out, especially in the beginning, just to get help, because they already know, right? So I'm gonna get on the phone with them on Monday, and see their options around that, and just to talk to them and let them know where I'm at, you know, because I I have to be mindful of the finances that I have access to in the meantime, and things like that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk and warm up my voice. So I'm gonna hop over to YouTube and see about doing this live, or at least just coming on and talking and um, connecting with people. Let them know what's up, let them know what's going on, and I don't know, I'll probably upload this. We'll see. All right. Till next time.